Something strange is happening in the Utah desert. First appearing in 1902, this strange gap in the earth has only gotten bigger over time, and it's not alone. All across northeastern Utah, there are mysterious pits, deep, dangerous, and largely unexplained. Who created them? Why are they growing? And what are the real answers? I just drove 14 hours to see this place for myself because I had to know what's really out here. Join me as I explore a forgotten part of the desert, a place few visit and even fewer understand, and I'll give you the answers you want to know. I don't know what's been mined out underneath me, so I want to be real careful here. Thinking we had located the anomaly in the desert, we crossed over Baxter Pass and descended into the Valley of Dragon, Utah. The only remnants of life in this forgotten ghost town were a few crumbling structures, a weathered graveyard, and the high fenced-off perimeter of a mine, surrounded by signs that read only one thing: danger, cave in. Looks like most of the graves in here have been robbed. There's a couple of headstones over here. Not really headstones, they're just like little markers, but like this one here has been dug up. Looks like that one's been dug up. And over here, last person to be laid to rest in this graveyard. With only one day to find the massive gap in the earth and the desert heat climbing into the high 90s, I had no choice but to move fast. Time was not on my side. Scanning Google Earth for clues, I spotted something, a new possibility, a faint scar cutting across the landscape. Could this be where it all begins? I'm walking up here to this gilsonite mine, and here's a shaft that you can see here. It goes, get right in line with it. I don't want to get too close, but you can see how it goes right up the ridge. See structures up there at the top. But if you come down here, you can see here, I'll try to point. Again, I don't want to get too close because it sure does look like this is hundreds of feet deep. You see beams down in there. So at this point, it's only maybe 4 foot wide, 3 foot wide maybe. And it's just a vertical shaft that, if it goes all the way up to where I'm looking, that's going to be 600 or 700 feet deep, probably, because it's several hundred feet below where I'm at right here. Gilsonite is a rare natural asphalt resin found almost exclusively in northeastern Utah. Jet black and brittle, it breaks with a shiny glass-like surface, more like obsidian than anything you'd expect to pull from the ground. The story of its discovery begins in the 1860s when a blacksmith in eastern Utah ran out of coal and asked a group of Ute Native Americans if they knew where he could find more. They led him to a strange shiny black rock that burned hot and clean. It wasn't coal, it was something entirely different. It wasn't until 1888 that Samuel H. Gilson began promoting the substance commercially, giving it the name gilsonite. He believed it had industrial value, and he was right. Gilsonite was soon used in waterproof coatings, electrical insulation, foundry molds, and even explosives during both world wars. Henry Ford used it in the paint for his early automobiles, giving the Model T its signature deep black finish. By the early 1900s, mining towns like Dragon and Bonanza sprang up around the vertical veins of gilsonite that sliced through the desert like massive black scars. Some of these veins reached nearly 2,000 feet deep and only a few feet wide. Miners followed them straight down with picks, shovels, and dynamite. Cave-ins were common. In the early days, dozens of miners died in Bonanza and Dragon, some buried alive, others lost to toxic gases and collapsing walls. Even young boys, just 10, 12 years old, were put to work in the mines, crawling through tight, unstable spaces in conditions we'd now call unthinkable. With the history echoing in my mind and daylight fading fast, I still hadn't found the miles-long gap in the earth I'd come all this way to see. I pulled up Google Earth hoping for a lead, and after scanning the terrain, I spotted what looked like a collapsed structure just outside Bonanza. Weathered and half swallowed by the desert, it appeared to be a remnant of the old mining days. And cutting straight through the landscape near it was a jagged black line, long, dark, and unmistakably unnatural. This had to be it, the scar in the earth I'd heard whispers about. So I've just walked up on this structure, have yet to identify what it is. It has something, I'm certain, to do with the mining in the area, but kind of surprised to see this right here. A lot of inscriptions on the walls. Old fireplace back here in this far room. Now these were miners, for sure. You have to wonder if they were mining where they would have put their findings. No bank to put it in out here. I know a lot of them in different places buried it in cans, and I wonder what's in here. So I wonder if this is where the can of gold is buried under here. The old mining shack stood just 75 yards away from what I now believe should be considered the eighth wonder of the world. A massive gash in the earth stretching for miles across the barren desert, raw and surreal against the emptiness.